Hey everyone, this is James from SuppFinder.com. I wanted to do a quick video follow-up to a blog post I wrote earlier this week called 5 Ways to Stay Healthy After 30. Now I think it's really important for those of us that are getting into our late 20s and early 30s to start thinking about how we're going to pave a good solid road of health for ourselves later on in life. Our 20s and especially our teens were really difficult on our bodies. We do sports, we do crazy things, we booze with our friends, we try drugs in college, we do all sorts of things that really take a toll on our body. We also establish a lot of habits that are not healthy in the long run. In addition to, drinking lots of beer and wine, we also get accustomed to eating some fast food and just microwaving stuff or eating out all of the time. And none of those things are going to do good things for our body if we continue to do them for 10 or 20 years. So I think this is it's the turning point, it's the apex. As we turn 30, we need to think about what sort of habits and things we need to have in our lives so that by the time we're 50, 60, 70, 80, we're not deteriorating rapidly and we can still enjoy a good mobile and a high quality level of life. So with that said, there were 5 different areas that I said those of us who are turning 30 right now, we should be putting some focus on. The first was managing stress. So a lot of us, we've got stress from our jobs. Some of us have purchased homes. We've got stress from mortgages or maybe student loan debt. Some people are getting married and having kids. And other people, unfortunately, are dealing with sick or ill parents. All of these outside stressors can really create a lot of stress in our lives, and that can eat away at our bodies on the inside. So it's really important that we find a couple of activities that we can do, if not every day, then at least every week, to help melt away that stress, really let it get out of our body and get us back to a state of calm. A lot of people find that yoga is great for this. Other people find that just a couple of minutes of meditation, either early in the morning or at lunch or at night before they go to bed, can really help to quiet their mind. A lot of other people find that sports, getting out and moving and getting the blood flowing really helps to melt away that stress. So if you like to walk, if you like to run, if you like to golf, any of those sports, get out there and do those on a weekly basis and take care of yourself. Let that stress burn away. The second thing that I addressed was to exercise regularly. We can get away with a lot of things when we're young. Our metabolism's good. It doesn't seem like much that we do can put a dent in our health. But for a lot of us, our metabolism changes and our lifestyle changes. Most of us have to work at a desk all day long, and that's not good for our midline, it's not good for our organs, and it's not good for our psyche. So getting out and getting your exercise, most experts say 30 minutes a day. Break it up if you have to. If you skip a day, do more the next day. And really the goal is just to move. You want to get your heart rate up. You want to get your blood flowing. Circulate everything. Get the nutrients going around. Get the toxins pulled out. It's so important that all of us find a way to exercise. And at least for me, I can't just grind away at the Y or grind away at the gym lifting weights. It's not something that I find particularly exciting. So it's really important, at least for me, to find a sport or a hobby that I really enjoy doing. I love climbing trees. I love rock climbing. Those are the types of things I get really excited about. If I'm at the beach, I can bodyboard, I can body surf, I can go surfing, I can kayak. All of these things are athletic and they're things that I enjoy doing, which makes it much easier to prioritize them over the course of the week. The third area was nutritional supplements. And if you've been to my website, you know that I'm all about supplements. I'm building a business around supplements. I really think supplements are key. None of us, and I feel fine saying that, none of us eat a diet that's going to give us everything we need. In addition to eating out and eating processed foods and just having a screwed up food supply, a lot of the demands we put on our body, whether it's medications or stress or environmental toxins, necessitate getting higher levels of nutrients. So our food is kind of down and our needs are kind of up. We really need to bridge that gap. And I'm convinced that everyone, especially as we're kind of turning from our 20s to our 30s, would benefit from taking 5 different supplements. Gotta have multivitamins. Make sure that we're getting all those vitamins and minerals that our body needs to function. We gotta have fish oil. Americans have some of the lowest intake of omega-3 fatty acids in the world, and our intake of omega-6 fatty acids, which are inflammatory, is also one of the highest in the world. So taking your fish oil, taking your algae oil, finding a way to get that in your body daily is going to do a lot for your heart and your brain over the long term. The third one is probiotics. We don't eat enough raw and fermented foods anymore. Soy products, kefir, kimchi, these are types of things that are really, really good for our bodies, really, really good for our gut, but they're just not part of the American diet. So taking a daily probiotic ensures that every single day you're bringing in new bacteria to take up space in your gut, keep your immunity strong, keep your mood stable. We also need to make sure that we're getting vitamin D. Most of us work inside, we commute in cars, we don't always get out on the weekends, and if we do, we're putting on sunscreen. So all of those things make it difficult for our skin to produce the vitamin D that we need to keep our immunity up, to keep our inflammation down, to keep our bones healthy. Vitamin D does so much. So it's really important to either take a vitamin D supplement or find a fish oil or a multivitamin that also includes vitamin D. The last supplement I'm really big on is antioxidants, and specifically food-based antioxidants like polyphenols, anthocyanidins, flavonoids, carotenoids, all of these food-based compounds that are really protective to our cells and our DNA. If we're not eating enough fruits and vegetables, we're not going to get enough of a daily intake of these protective compounds. So taking either kind of a superfood powder, or you can find some multivitamins that also include a bunch of phytonutrients. It's definitely the way to go. The fourth area that I wrote about was biomarker testing. And this might be something that's new to some of you. Some of you may have heard of WellnessFX. Again, I'm really, really big, really, really long on this company and the whole idea of testing our biomarkers so that we can see what's going on inside of our body and take actions to correct what could become a health issue before we ever get symptoms or before we ever get problems. So WellnessFX, in short, you sign up online, you pay about $100, $200 depending on the test you want to do, you find a lab, you go in, you draw your blood, you're in and out within 10 minutes, and then 2 weeks later you're going to get all of your test results put onto the WellnessFX website, which is great. It shows you what biomarkers were tested, it shows you what your levels are, and it color codes it all so you know whether you're in the green zone, which is the good zone, whether you're orange or whether you're red, meaning that you're trending up or trending down out of where those markers should be. Now this is really important because there's a lot going on in our bodies that we can't feel. And we're not going to know that there's an issue until things have gotten too far gone and our body is starting to break down. So knowing what your cholesterol levels are, knowing what your triglycerides are, knowing your level of inflammation, knowing your vitamin D, all of these things are super, super important if you want to be proactive and really live a healthy life. Now I've got my WellnessFX results here. I'll pull those up so you can see what you'll get. So if you can see this is my cardiovascular panel on WellnessFX. You can see each of these biomarkers, total HDL, triglycerides, HDL, LDL. Each of those are important biomarkers. And WellnessFX, again, you can see most of my results are in the green. A couple are orange, so I need to work on those over time. And really, we just chart out all of our different results. A big take-home for me, you can see that bottom one, HSCRP, C-reactive protein. That's a measure of inflammation. And when I started, mine was 1.7, which was really, really high. I had no idea that I had high inflammation going on in my body. So I did a number of things, and one of those things was actually starting to take a vitamin D supplement. And I found that as my vitamin D levels got higher, my inflammation came down. So without having done this WellnessFX, I might have gone for years with high and elevated levels of inflammation in my body that were slowly breaking down my tissues, slowly breaking down my organs, and never done anything about it. So I'm really, really big about biomarker testing. Check out WellnessFX. It's just SuppFinder.com. Anyone turning 30, I would say do your testing once a year. You can chart it out every single time you get a test, see what your body looks like at 30, compare it when you're 40, and stay on top of things. The last area that I said was really important for those of us turning 30 to pay attention to is the chronic disease that's really crippling the American healthcare system right now. You need to understand what causes diabetes. You need to understand what causes heart disease and stroke. We even need to understand what causes cancer. Even though cancer is not necessarily a chronic disease, all of those things have at their root these lifestyle issues of not eating enough omega-3s, not eating good food, not exercising, not dealing with stress, or taking in too many toxins, smoking, drinking every single day. All of these things are creating inflammation, creating damage in our bodies, and over time, because we're living longer than humans ever have in the past, it's leading to these different types of diseases. All of them, or I shouldn't say all of them, but a common statistic is that about 70% of the chronic disease cases that we see in America are prevented through good lifestyle. And that's paying attention to what we eat, taking supplements, de-stressing, exercising, hanging out with friends and family, and understanding how all of these things build a healthy life for us. So hopefully this wasn't too long of a video, and I hope you've learned something a little bit new. Check out the other things I've written at my blog at SuppFinder.com. See you.